Hey, welcome to Quick Looks at the Casual Hour. My name is Bobby, and joining me per usual, the gamer on the go, Chase Kinnicky, and we are going to be taking a special quick look today at OlliOlli World.
What makes it special, Bobby?
You and I are hanging out together, and I get to show you
special.
Game. And it's a game that I think is special. But before I tell you why I think it's special, why don't you tell me and the fine folks watching what the hell this game is?
This is OlliOlli World. This is the new game from Roll7, which is an indie developer who has made a couple of these games before. I think their previous work. Let me pull that up real quick. I've got stuff about the game, but I don't have stuff about Roll7. Roll7 is a British video game developer.
Okay.
Actually, I guess they're not independent. They're owned by Private Division. Interesting. I did not know.
Why do I know Private Division? That name sounds familiar.
Why do you know Private Division? That is a great question. Private Division is an American video game publisher. They let's see. What have they published? They published Kerbal Space Program. They published The Outer Worlds. That's probably why you know them. They published Hades. So you know, they published some cool kind of stuff.
They've got game and chops, is what you're saying.
Well, at least publishing chops to know what games to pick. Let's see, Roll7. They've done actually more than OlliOlli. I did not know that. There's a bunch of iOS games here that I've never heard of. Man Up, Focus Pocus, Gets to the Exit. But I think their biggest stuff here is OlliOlli, OlliOlli 2, Welcome to Olliwood. And Not a Hero. I forgot they made Not a Hero. That's a neat game, cover-based 2D shooter thing.
I don't know if I remember that.
It's got like a little, if I'm right, it's got like a little purple rabbit protagonist. Kind of reminds me of that rabbit character in Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds.
Yes, I do recall.
OlliOlli World, this came out February 8th of 2022, and it's out on pretty much everything: PC, Switch, PS4 and PS5, Xbox One and Xbox Series X and S. And it's the newest game in the OlliOlli franchise, but this is also way different than the OlliOlli games that have come before. Those games were 2D pics. I think they were pixel art. Yeah, they were pixel
they were
art
like
games.
little chunky pixels.
Yeah, and it was a little bit more real world while also doing, maybe a little weirdness. But this game is all weirdness.
Yeah, man, they've definitely leaned into it. And if you like weirdness, like and subscribe, because we keep it pretty weird here at the Casual Hour. Between quick looks and Let's Plays, we got something for you, including a really great podcast. So like, subscribe, hang out with us where you can. This is Radlandia, and it is weird. Radlandia is a very weird place. They have broken this game up, which I think is different from the prior ones, into a couple different biomes and levels. And you are on your way to become the next skate wizard. It has full customization. You make yourself in-game, and you can update this character throughout the progression of that. And you're working to get to Nirvana, where you will meet these skate gods from each area. And once you've met them, they will basically let you take over. Let me see if I can find her for you. You've got.
Can you actually go back to the character creator? Because I think this is one of the coolest parts of the games, and I would like to see a little bit more about it. Like, I don't want you to screw up your character, but can you?
No, I don't care.
You show off some other options here?
This is one of the coolest things I've seen with customer characterization in a very long time. I think I just mixed those words up, by the way.
You did, but that's okay.
So you've got a bunch of different things that you can focus on here. So you've got clothing, your body, grabs, poses. This is going to be your board, and then of course your face. So when you come into it, you can change between a few different predetermined looks here. You've got different hairstyles that you can choose from. Very inclusive, lots of different hairstyles for different types of people. Facial hair.
And most importantly for you,
no hair.
No hair, yes.
Yes. It's funny how people with hair like to point out when people don't have hair, like they have any control over it.
It's true. That's true. But you
you
got a lot of hair on the bottom of the face.
It's just a very noticeable thing. Like most people with hair are like, oh, hey, you don't have hair. Yes, I'm aware. I have. Yeah. It's my body. I'm very aware that
purple bunny guy at the bottom right. That's from Not a Hero.
This is.
Yep.
Oh, cool. So the things that you see here, there's fake skate companies. So Face Melter is one, Salty's another one. My favorite one is Twiggy's, which I like them a whole lot.
That's
Twiggy's
just a damn turtle.
That's a turtle. But you can unlock these, and so you start off with quite a bit, and there's a few things that you get if you pre-ordered it as well. You can do tattoos, and those get covered up by certain clothing items. They have a layered area too, so outside of... So I guess the best way to explain it, you can like do tops. They have a whole dress section as well, and then you've got these outerwear. So this is going to go over and layer what you have, and I think it's somewhere... There we go. You can actually unlock suits that you wear.
Full body costumes, okay.
Yeah, so you've got that stuff there, which is really cool. And as you go into a level... So let me just grab one of these. So you'll always have this little character breakdown here. So you've got Suze, you've got Mike, who is next to her to the right, and then Dad. Those are like your main squad. And then Chuck is just somebody who is kind of the gatekeeper, so to speak, of this area that we're in right now.
Is Dad your dad, or just a dad?
No, he's just a dude that you call Dad that hangs out, and he's pretty great. His helmet says Rad Dad on it, and I tend to agree with that.
That's pretty rad.
Dad, I think it says Rad Dad on one side and Dad Power on the other.
Okay.
So you can skip through the dialogue if you want to, and then you're gonna see this before each round. So you've got your score, and every time that you complete a level, you'll just get a rival. And there's not a whole lot to it besides this is just somebody with a score there. There are 5 things you can get on each level, 1 just to complete it. So that's the other thing to call out. You don't have to do all these other things besides just finish a level to move the story forward. So if you don't care about being the best or having the highest score and you just want to see what's going on and if you can become a skate wizard, just finish the level. Down at the bottom there's local heroes. To beat those local heroes you have to achieve a score that you can see there or higher. And then Mike has a challenge on every single one of these. So if you get the local heroes done, you get a new piece of clothing or gear. Same thing for Mike's challenges. You can see leaderboards. So these are people, I think, top scorers worldwide. And you can replay their runs.
They seem to have pretty high scores.
They do have high scores. This is also where people on your friends list will show up if you come across here. So nobody yet for me. But if I do like that.
What are you playing this on?
I'm playing this on PC.
Okay, and I don't think it has, like, it wouldn't have cross leaderboards.
It does not have cross leaderboards. One of the reasons I grabbed it here is that I thought playing on Steam Deck would be really cool.
Sure.
So again, this is the main area. You're gonna see some are tutorials. So if there's a skateboard next to it, this is just teaching you new things. And then these blue items are going to be special events that are unlocked when you do other skills. So like this one up here. Well, I can show you over here because I just got to this biome. So you have to beat 25 local heroes to unlock long fields. And that's the same thing for like each one of these. You'll get to that. Let me zoom out really quick and show you 2 other things where we hop into some more skating. Should you customization, there's a Trictionary. So you can go through and see how to do every single thing in the game that is here. So if you're like, hey, how do I do like an advanced trick or special trick? And then Mastery are the things that you're going to get for each one of the skate gods. So I've gotten this one completed for the first area. I'm still working through some of these for the second area. And these are just long-term things that you're working towards. But you'll get the entirety outfit for those gods. And you can become those gods.
Okay.
So let's play and skate a little bit. That's what you want to see here. This is the starting area. I'm just going to grab a random level. One thing that's cool about these splash screens that you're seeing, your friend, so Johnny's playing this game now, and he'll pop up on those splash screens every now and again, which I think is really cool.
Okay.
So you're using a few input methods while skating here. So there's a 2.5D. I think it does borrow heavily from some of the ideas in Tony Hawk. But you're using your thumbsticks to do different things. So I'm not really interacting with my right thumbstick right now, because that's going to be how you do grabs, and you can tweak grabs. But your left thumbstick is how you do your ollies and your jumps. You can push by pushing an A. There's a quick push or a power push, like that. And if you press A just before landing, it'll help get you a better landing if you need to do that for whatever reason.
When you're doing grinds or doing manuals, I'm not seeing any. You mentioned Tony Hawk. Like, I'm not seeing any kind of balance meters like those games do. When you do a grind, are you just good with the grind, or is there something going on?
You're just good to grind. Now, if I start to do like a, I'll just go to another level. So you start to get a little off balance, and I'm not doing a whole lot to fuck that up right there, because I can start to try and do different types of grinds. So let me just go into another level here and show that off. I think this one down here, I like this level. Yeah, the salty store. So if I go into a manual and I start to tweak that a little bit. Oh, well, so I'm moving around that stick and nothing's really happening there. Mm-hmm. It's pretty forgiving, actually. Let me get past these and get to a spot where I can just show that off. There we go. So I'm moving that stick a lot, and still nothing was happening with that.
Okay.
They do have these different paths. They got the gnarly path that you can take, and that's what I just did here. Usually going to have a little bit more of an opportunity for bigger scores, newer events. Sometimes you can meet people and do crazy shit like that.
So the challenge here comes in more of the level design and maybe your reflexes more than it is the controls themselves. Because I think that was my issue with the last couple OlliOlli games, is that they had pretty precise inputs when it came to nailing your tricks. I think you'd even have to like hit a button or hit your thumbstick correctly as you landed, and there were perfect, good, or sloppy lands, if I'm not mistaken.
There are things like that here as well.
Okay.
But not so. Like, there'll be. There hasn't been anything that's like you can't progress here without that. Like, I know that there's some that is like, okay, you need to get like one of Mike's challenges. It's like, you need to go into this wall ride with an advanced trick, come out of it with an advanced trick, and land a perfect. So like, that would be if you wanted to complete those things there. Mm-hmm. And that is a part of some of these. It might be on this one. Let me see if this has got it there. Advanced trick through a ghost, collect 6 ghost boards, find and catch the zombie. So like, this one doesn't have it. Other ones will. So like, complete a level without checkpoints. Some will say no slamming, so slamming is just when you wreck. Like, there's certain things like that, but it is more about you're just reacting to the environment and like doing those things versus having to do advanced inputs, at least at this part of the game. And they are still teaching you new things. Like, I had a tutorial for landings just before I wrapped up this area here.
Okay.
So I don't think it's nearly as intense from what you're explaining about the prior games. I think some of the input methods are the same, like up, down, but I don't think it's as punitive. But maybe is what I'm hearing from some of those.
Yeah, I mean, there was something about the active skating in the first 2 OlliOlli games that felt like a chore, whereas when I play something like Tony Hawk, it's not so much. Like, I know how to execute everything because it's super easy to execute stuff. It's just a matter of doing it all in one set or something. Whereas as OlliOlli is like, oh, I'm constantly fighting to even land on the board every single time that I do any sort of jump, and that just felt really, like you said, punitive in a way.
Dude, that's not the case here at all. Like, this is just it's so fucking enjoyable, and like, the hardest part of it is like I've just got in my brain that like I have to get all these things done. Like that's how. So like when I play this game, I don't move forward until it's done. And that's like down here. I've got all this knocked out completely. I've done everything on here. The only thing I haven't done for Cloverbrook yet is, as I was showing you here, for the mastery. Like, and that's just even here. I'm just getting points and I'm doing lane transitions. So the lane transitions is probably going to take the longest because you just got to go through those levels. But I can
there's only going to be 1 or 2 transitions per level, so you got to play it 100 times. It seems like.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too is like this is a new area that I'm at, and I'm not very far into it yet. But let's just grab this one here. There's Johnny actually.
Gross.
So gross. Coming into this one here. If there is a transition, I'll be able to get to that. But what I wanted to show you was I'm going to find a checkpoint, and that's where you see, I think, Sue's. Oh, there was a little indicator that I was a little wobbly on that manual. Okay. Come on. I'm just trying to get to this to show you how easy that can be. Well, so I'm just pressing Y on the controller, and you immediately go back to your last checkpoint. You can hold Y to restart completely and get back to this. If you press start while you're skating, you're going to see your checklist of things. I do sometimes wish that this was pinned a little bit. If I was working on something like give me the option to know like who was I supposed to do that trick in front of, and who am I supposed to high five here. Ooh. So I mean, I don't know what else I can show you on here. There's a lot that I can. I mean, I love this game. I just keep going through and doing this shit. But
yeah, I mean, it is pretty quickly understood. It is a skating game. It's a 2D thing. I mean, I don't want to shit on this because it looks good. It's got this kind of Adventure Timey art style that I appreciate. It is. I mean, I look at that cursor. I just like the way that cursor smears. That's really nice. That's just an incredibly nice touch. I guess still my big problem here is that when I play a skating game, I really like the idea of that sessionability of I'm just in a space, I'm creating my own line, I'm trying out some tricks, and it makes games like Tony Hawk or even those newer games like Skater XL or Session, like those are the skating games I really like because they give you a more of a chance to explore. Whereas this game almost feels like a puzzle game more than it feels like a skating game because you're trying to hit the right paths, you're trying to do this stuff. And I'm not saying this is a bad game. It's just a different approach to skating. But when it comes to skating games, that's not necessarily what I'm looking for. But at the same time, I really like a lot of the execution that's going on here.
One other thing I'll show you. I don't know if this is going to fit the bill there. So that you've got 2 things. You unlock Gnarvana whenever you get through parts of it here. There is the portal, which is a play forever, generates levels in an area of Nirvana that you've unlocked. Okay. So this one you can come into. You can also change all the music. The music in the game is very, very good. If I give you a postcode, so I can send that to you and you can go in and play it based off of this current postcode down here. So then I can randomize this. I can choose like the 2 areas that I've been able to get through so far. I can change the difficulty of what I want this to be, and then I can make it more of an endurance, a long run, or a regular. We'll call it a spot. So let's just see what this one does here. This might be one that I've already done. Nope. So this is pretty barren.
Are these randomly generated, or it's just they have a bunch of different options?
I don't know if they're randomly generated or not. I think it's just the options that you're seeing here for this.
Okay.
So
you know what this does remind me of is Alto's Adventure and Alto's Odyssey. Those iOS games that are more like snowboarding. Yeah. Those games have incredibly simplified inputs, and also they're on mobile, so they're meant to be like, hey, I'm just playing this for 5 minutes or so. But it's almost like they expand it out that idea and definitely made it a little bit more complex.
One other thing over here that I haven't done one of these yet, but I think it's interesting is that there is this is called the Nirvana League, and so when you get into it, that's I think it's Chiffon is how you say their name, and they are the current skate wizard that is trying to retire, and so they're just helping you take over for them. So that's one of the other people in your posses there. This is letting you know that you're up against 9 other riders to see whose aura shines brightest. The highest score counts. Riders from other dimensions will constantly be bettering themselves with higher scores only for the best progress. So this is asynchronous. You're working to go through this and put your score in, and you can continually try and be in that upper echelon of what this would be here. So I can.
So this isn't really a daily challenge. It's more like, hey, you're given a chunk of time and you just need to do the best you can during that time, and then it'll pick a winner.
Yeah, and then at the end of that time, it'll basically reset, and you can go in there and do it. So this is something that you can go into and keep trying to have the highest score and keep it there. It's almost like bidding, if you think about it that way. Like, I'm currently up against these other people trying to get the highest bid in there.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, that's more interesting to me than a daily challenge. Because, daily challenge, you do it once. If you fuck up, you're just done. That gives you an option to like really learn a track and figure out how to best do it. That's interesting. I like that.
So one thing I'll call out too, just like there is some longevity. It's not like showing you everything here. So this one does quite a bit. A lot of tutorials in the first world because it's the first world. But as I mentioned, there was some that popped over here. So like as soon as you get to this one, it teaches you how to do wall rides, which this whole area is really focusing heavily on wall riding. The last thing you get here is landing, but then when you come over to this biome for Burnt Rock, you're going to see the first thing you do is how to do those grabs. So they don't even want you to touch the right thumbstick until you get to the 3rd level.
Okay.
So this is where I think that it's going to start to dial in a little bit more the difficulty with like advanced tricks and advanced landings. You'll start to probably see that come up here. And then I don't know what's going to be in Lost Volgas here. But
it seems like it's got a lot of stages. Do you feel like the stages are sufficiently different enough and that they feel unique?
Yeah, I think so. The challenges there too are pretty interesting as well.
Sure.
The other piece of it too is like the skate companies are more representative of what's going on there, so you can see what you'll be getting. If I come back up here to the top, so we're out in the desert, so they're going to do some of this more Western attire, which I think looks really cool. These pearl snaps, and then some of these types of, I don't know, like alt rock looking shit.
Some southwestern patterns and things like that.
So like that'll be that company, and that'll allow you some ways to mix it up. I really like this game, and not having a strong history of like depth with skating games in general. I played a lot of skate. I played more skate than I played Tony Hawk. And I didn't play hardly any of OlliOlli World, but I've been pretty taken by I'm sorry, I didn't play any of OlliOlli 1 or 2, but I've been pretty taken by OlliOlli World. And I'm digging a lot of what it's doing here. I like it a whole lot.
$30. There's also a Rad edition that is $45. What do you get in the Rad edition, Bobby?
You get some customization options, a new board. I think there's some tattoos that you get. There's different tattoos you can put on your body. Mine are covered up except for my legs. And then that also, they've got DLC. So like, I think the world aspect of what they're doing is going to expand out. They're probably going to add in another little biomes or land here that you'll be able to do. I'm hoping that's what they're doing. I haven't read what it is, but they've for sure said that you're going to be getting those things. I don't know if there's a spot on the main menu that says what's coming or not. I don't think there is. Yeah, I don't think so. But yeah, you get a few in-game items for clothing, a couple board customizations, which I didn't show you too much of that. Let me just do that really quick, because that's...
Okay, well, while you do that, I've got the Steam page open for the OlliOlli expansion pass that I believe comes with the Rad edition. So it has a first story expansion called Void Riders, containing an entirely new biome, levels, characters, gameplay, and customization unlocks coming in summer of 2022. A second story expansion containing an entirely new biome, levels, characters, gameplay, customization unlocks coming by fall 2022, and the Close Encounters skate deck.
Okay. Cool.
So, yeah, a couple, at least the first 2 expansions coming out this year. So that's nice. Good reasons to come back and keep playing this. And you can buy that expansion pass separately, and it costs the same as if you bought the Rad edition.
That's what I ended up doing after playing it.
Yeah.
That's the Close Encounters deck there. So most of the decks here are going to be pretty standard fare, but they do have some dumb stuff that you can get. Like you can skate on the shovel if you want, or popsicle. It's pretty good. And then you can do your trucks, and then they've got different wheels that you can unlock as well. So a lot of options here for really making this feel the way that you'd want it to feel. And that is OlliOlli World, Chase. So I'm glad we got to take a look at it. I will continue to play it. I've got the DLC coming for summer and fall. And if my mind can handle it, I'm going to try and 100% this thing, because I'm really digging it. And that's been a really weird thing for me.
Yeah, we've got a lot of cool games coming out here in February that I know we're really excited about and are going to take up a lot of our time. I like what I see here. I still have some reservations based on my playing of the other 2 OlliOlli games, but I think this is something that's going to go on my wish list, and if it does get a bit of a sale, maybe around the time that first DLC comes out this summer, maybe it's something I'll dive into. Yeah,
awesome. Well, if you wanted to find out about more of those games that we've been talking about for February, you can tune in Wednesday nights at 10:30 p.m. Central at twitch.tv/casual hour, where we record our podcast, The Casual Hour Live. We post that every Friday morning, 9 a.m. Central, wherever you listen to podcasts. And then Mondays and Fridays, you might see us play a game like OlliOlli World, where Chase and myself, or me and Johnny, or all 3 of us get together and play video games and have a good time. So, lots of reasons to hang out with us. Like, subscribe here on YouTube, follow on Twitch, and at The Casual Hour, wherever you do your social networking. Chase, thanks so much for being here, and to everybody who watched, thank you, and we will talk to you all soon.